Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. So I've got some interesting topics lined up to discuss this week, with the Primarch Rebute Guilliman and Belisarius Call. But today I wanted to start with something a little lighter and give my opinion on the new models revealed over the weekend. So with that said, let's just jump straight in. Well, first off, look, I know we've seen him already, but man, this Silent King model is good. Just look at the dude oozing superiority, metallic cloak flowing in the breeze, and I love the bound katan above, just the sheer despair on his face. But it's not just to draw over this model again that we're talking about it. I just wanted to discuss that these two Pharaons with Zarek are indeed the Triarch. Now, I get it, it makes sense, but I was really hoping these guys were more servants or cryptex of Zarek's, as there's so many great Necron lords already established in the lore that I was really hoping to see some of them make up the Triarch. But I guess we'll find out what's what in the Codex release coming soon. Now, I didn't get to watch the stream, but I know apparently not all the dynasties have indeed bowed before the returning Silent King. I'm really hoping they've stuck with Imhotep not having any of it, but only time will tell. Moving on to yet more new Necron releases. And man, have the Necrons gone from one of the worst to best ranges in this edition. I know we'd all love to see the Xenos get more love, but there's no denying GW has gone above and beyond with our Tomb Kings of the future. And these new Ophidian destroyers, I don't know how that's pronounced, but they are no different. They've definitely got that Wraith look about them. Those razor talons and impassive Necron face definitely give these guys the menacing vibe. And speaking of menacing, man, I was hoping for these guys to get an update. There's just something about the flayed ones that I've always loved. Terminator meets Freddy Krueger. You just wouldn't want to run into these guys in a dark alley. And this update is pretty great. It keeps the same feel and vibe of the old models, but just refreshes them. I love the one with the skin draped over his head. Are there rules for these guys in Necromunda yet? Because a band of flayed ones stalking the darkness of the Underhive would definitely be a scenario that I am interested in. One of the new cryptex, the Chronomancer. You see now, this is why the older Necron lords need model updates. Because even the cryptex are going to be overshadowing them now. How can I start my dynasty with Imhotep standing next to this guy? This model is great. I know it's used quite a lot now, but they've really nailed the floating look on the models. This guy perfectly looks like he's just floating there, the tentacles so elegantly sculpted. And the spell effect in the hand, it really feels so natural. And if we bring up the Psychomancer, this guy just knocks it out the park for me. Just look at the skull effect in the casting. I mean, I can only imagine that's pretty tricky to paint, with the subtle change in colour. But again, that effortless feel of floating. But on this one, it's combined with the thrust of movement. Two fantastic sculpts, they really are. Like I said before, the Necron range as a whole has really gone above and beyond. Okay, now on to the main event, the Primaris Marines. And first off, the new captain. Now, for some reason, when I look at this guy, I think Pedro Cantor. And I know, he hasn't got the Power Fist or the Stormbolter. There's no Cantor banner on his backpack. But you know when you just get the feel when you see a model, and that's what I get when I see him, Pedro Cantor. If I ever get that Crimson Fist Force going, then I really think I'll have to go with this guy as my Primaris Cantor. The pose itself is nothing extraordinary, but it does have that kind of solidness that you want from a captain. And he's got the almost standard foot up on a rock we get these days. And I have to say the Gravis armour has really started to grow on me. I wasn't too sure at first, but it's definitely started to win me over. It won't stop me wishing for Primaris Terminator armour though, that has to be said. Terminator armour will always be the Space Marine look to me. I do really hope we eventually see Terminator armour in the new scale. On to the heavy Intercessors. Now, I'm not a tabletop rules expert, so I don't know if these guys were really needed or not. But personally, I probably would have preferred a slightly different looking unit than just Intercessors with heavier armour. Looks wise, I love the heavy bolter pose. I definitely have a thing for heavy bolters. I know I'm weird, but that's just always had that kind of Jesse Ventura in Predator feel for me. Especially the ones with the ammo feed coming out. We don't get that here, but it's still got that heavy feel. For the others, well, I guess they are what they are. Intercessors in bulkier armour. They're not bad and they're not amazing. Now we get the multi-part Eradicators, and they do look pretty cool. There's not a great deal you could really do with them, and they do look good. But come on, they really should have been painted as salamanders. The sons of Vulcan need representing. On to the Blade Guard multi-kits. While I still feel they don't fit my wolves, they have grown on me for other chapters, and seeing them with other weapon options helps it even more so. But can we give a minute to the head with the mohawk and the beard? Is this the single greatest Space Marine head yet? This guy is just screaming, "Don't mess with me. I'm too old for this, you know what." He's got that look where you just don't want to mess with him. And well, honestly, the quality of the sculpts is really at an all-time high. The detail on the bare heads of these assault intercessors are really showing it off. They're just your standard Codex style Marines, but the detail of them is fantastic. The frown lines on the foreheads, the expressions on the faces, they are all absolutely on point. Man, I can't wait to see some new Space Wolf heads. Or to see a bigger range of White Scar heads, salamanders, even Blood Angels. The chapters have so many different feels, it would be nice to get some more options, other than just the 2 on the upgrade sprues that we've had. Hopefully it's something we'll see in the future. Nothing too different again from what we've already seen for the Assault Intercessors, but it's always nice to have the multi-part poses. And if you didn't get Indomitus or the starter set, well, now you can add these dudes to your force. And now, the Storm Speeders. Why did I just have to start a White Scars force? Oh man, the chaplain on the bike, the ATV, yes I know I'm one of the minority that actually like that. And now these guys. I mean, I just have to get at least one of these for the Sons of Chagoris. I'm pretty sure if I didn't, I would be struck down by the Khan himself. The Primaris answer to the iconic Landspeeder. And while it may not have the character of the Scout hanging off the edge of the Scout version, let's be real here, they do look great. And like the tank reveals last time out, we get 3 variants to choose from. Well, time to make a few harsh decisions. Yes, the Primaris vehicles all do look fairly similar, but really it does make sense. They all work off of the same template. Belisarius Cawl has redesigned all of these vehicles. It would make sense for him to be using the same template for all of them. And for the most part, I really like these new vehicles, it has to be said. They're a million times better than the days of the Repulsor. Of course, there was also the announcement of the next Codexes to come. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. I thought I'd have to wait much longer for the Space Wolves. And I love me some Blood Angels, and I've just found that Death Guard battle force. I am good to go here. But fear not, Dark Angel fans, they are coming in January, so you haven't got that much longer to wait. And before we move on, I have to say too, I am seriously liking the artwork on the Blood Angels and Space Wolf Codexes. I mean, they're all good, but those two in particular just look absolutely epic. I really hope there's a digital version that gets released of these. And last but not least, a new Lord for the Death Guard. And this guy looks solid as a rock. Like I said for the Necrons earlier, the Death Guard too have one of the best ranges out there. So honestly, I was quite surprised to see this guy announced. And there's going to be more to come by the looks of things, which hey, I'm all for, but it'd be nice to see some of the other traitor legions get some attention too. The Death Guard have a fantastic range, the Black Legion too, but how about giving the Iron Warriors some love, the Alpha Legion, the World Eaters, and don't get me started on the Emperor's Children. We all know I've been waiting on Fulgrim for quite some time. But that's it for the reveals from the weekend, and well, there's an absolutely insane amount of stuff coming over the next few months, which is great news. The more new models, the better. But as we all know, that's bad for the wallet. So there's gonna have to be some harsh decisions. As always guys, what do you think? Happy with the reveals? Or was you looking and hoping for something else? As always, drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love to see what you're thinking. A huge thank you to all my subscribers. Your support really means a lot to me, it truly does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.